Good morning. We are continuing on with our personal finance unit, and today we're going to talk about something you'll be dealing with from your first job, maybe in the next year or so, until you retire 55, 60 years from now, and that is the paycheck, knowing what to look for, the process that you need to have handled before you even get your first paycheck. Well, what's the best part about having your first job? Of course, it's the money. That paycheck itself is absolutely great, but there's some things you got to get done first. If you get a chance, please look up on YouTube AO First Job. Great video that kind of goes into some of the experiences people have. But when you first get hired, the first thing you're going to fill out is an IRS form. You see the little scan code on the bottom right. It's called the W-4. So you are going to explain to the government how much you want withheld in your taxes. You get to decide if you want to have a lot withheld because you need more money during the year, and you'll just take the chance of paying taxes at the end of the calendar year. Here's some examples. This is for a fictitious person named Rosa. She has one child, so she's taking a child tax credit and some other dependent issues and deductions that she's going to take. Mary Smith, on the other hand, has several children plus another dependent. So throughout the year, she wants to make darn sure that she is receiving more money per week, month, however she gets paid. The W-4 is absolutely the first step when you get hired. Of course, some of you will have to complete the I-9, and that will involve some of the forms here. We're going to talk about the W-2 later on in the week. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but the business issues you the W-2 form. And it says from your employer the amount of money that you have earned, the taxes that you have paid for that calendar year. So put it in perspective. 2021, at December 31st, your employer is putting together the numbers onto a W-2. In January or February, they mail you or hand you this W-2 so that you can complete your taxes. We are going to be working on how to do taxes on Thursday and Friday. So, real quickly, there's three ways you can get paid. A paycheck, a physical piece of paper that you would bring in. Direct deposit, which is electronic, and then a payroll card. As it says up here, and you may want to pause and read it, it is your responsibility on a paycheck to deposit it, but the, of course, issue with that is you have less choice. Once you set it up for auto pay, you're responsible for going in also and making sure that the amount is right. Direct deposit, you darn well know it's not going to get lost. You absolutely know, but you're responsible for checking this to make sure it's accurate. Now, the payroll card is different. A payroll card is where you don't actually have a check, and that your pay, your wages, are loaded automatically on a card from your employer that you would use almost like it's your own bank account. But as you can see, there are some costs involved. So when you're doing the paycheck activity today, remember, there's the personal information, including your Social Security number. I cannot stress it enough. You have got to memorize this number. This is not something that you should know. It's something you have to know. Now, if you're not a citizen or here legally, well, if you're not here legally, you can't work. But if you're not here as a citizen, you need to have an employee number. There's a whole paperwork you get for that. The pay period. How long are you getting paid? So this $180 is from June 11th to June 25th. Gross income. Gross means before taxes, in other words. So before we do all our withholdings and all our deductions and all our taxes, this is how much you earn. How do you figure that out? Well, you take the number of hours worked times your hourly wage. So I worked 15 hours. I get paid $9.50 an hour. That's my gross income. So I haven't calculated the taxes yet. Now we get to the deductions and all the fun stuff. Withholding tax. Essentially, what does the government want to get from you? And then you've got FICA. Now, FICA, and one of the questions on the assignment will ask, what does FICA stand for? Federal Insurance Contribution Act. So it really involves two components, Social Security and Medicare. Now, Social Security is a federal retirement program. People pay into it while they're working, and the expectation is they're going to collect it when they reach their 60s or 70s. The longer you hold up, the more you get to take. Medicare is different. It is a federal medical insurance program that you're going to pay into. Every paycheck you get goes into Medicare. You can't receive it till you're 65. There is a separate federal and state program called Medicaid. It's there to help low-income people have some insurance coverage. But Social Security and Medicare are the big ones. Net income. Remember earlier I said gross income is before taxes and deductions. How the heck much did you earn? 180. And yet my check was for 146.68. Well, that's because you have to consider all the deductions down here, all the money that the government took from you for taxes and other things. Okay? Net income is the amount left after all those payroll deductions have been taken from your gross income. You can look at it as take-home pay. So I said I earned $180 before taxes, but gosh golly, I got that federal tax of $14.10. The state, and some states like California do have an income tax, wants $5.45. My Social Security and Medicare tax component is $13.77. So my net income is that original gross income minus all my little taxes and deductions. This is where I get that lower number. Please make darn sure each pay period you're checking to make sure that the paycheck you receive is accurate. It's easy to fix if you find it quickly. If you come back 3-4 months later, it can be difficult for any number of reasons. Now, on today's assignment, you are going to be looking at Angela Smith. A couple of things I do want to point out. Just like every pay stub you're ever going to see, there's 2 columns. So, well, I should say 3. There's the information column, which tells you what is it that you're either earning or you're paying. And then there's this pay period. So in that 2-week period, I guess month period, because this is February 1st through February 28th, this is how much you've earned. This is how much you've earned year to date. So from January 1st until February 28th, this is the year to date. Make darn sure you're paying attention to the question that it asks. And if it asks for FICA, you may have to do some adding here, whether it's this period or year to date. Make sure you're paying attention. Okay. So answer these questions. You can do it on a separate sheet of paper if you don't have the ability to print, and then just bring it to me on Monday morning, or you can upload it.